Hello, folks. This is Kevin from Good Day, Good Prayers. Hope that you're having a good day. I certainly am. Beautiful day outside. Today, we're going to be talking about the situation in Ukraine and the situation in Russia. And we're going to kind of talk a little bit about what is going on there and what is getting ready to happen, or at least what we believe is getting ready to happen. President Trump spoke with Vladimir Putin a couple weeks ago in Alaska, and he felt that Vladimir Putin was ready to potentially do a peace treaty. Well, then at the White House, President Trump met with the people from Europe. There were 8 leaders there from the different countries that are all supporting the Ukraine. Well, the fact is that the meeting went off and it sounded real positive. And then a few days later, Putin attacks Ukraine. In the process of the attacks, there were some children that were killed. So now, President Trump is now threatening Putin because of the fact that children were killed in the process. Well, the U.S. Navy was brought in and now is waiting for whatever Putin's response is. And President Trump has told Putin that if he does any more attacks against the Ukraine, that within an hour, the U.S. Navy will have all of Russia's military destroyed. And then he said, you'll have no choice but to sign a peace treaty. That's kind of a tough situation. Now, President Trump has been negotiating with China and North Korea and a few other countries, trying to keep them away from Russia so that they do not agree to go to war on the side of Russia should this thing escalate. Right now, we are at a situation where World War III or a battle of Armageddon or anything could break loose at any time. And so now, as a group of Christians here in the U.S. and around the world, we need to begin to pray. Because if the next step of this were to happen, it could very easily involve a number of countries rather than just a few. As of right now, it has involved countries from Europe, and it has involved the U.S. Under the Biden administration. Also has involved China and North Korea. Now, North Korea has been selling weapons to Russia, and I believe that they would be willing to put boots on the ground if it came to that. Now, the Battle of Armageddon is supposed to take place in the Valley of Megiddo, which is in the Middle East. It would not be a far cry for a battle of that nature to occur in the valley of Megiddo at any moment. And that is what we need to pray for. This is the reason that I today am going to be calling the saints to prayer. I don't want to see the Battle of Armageddon take place, and I don't believe that God does either. There have been so many events that have taken place over a period of time that certainly has spelled the death of a lot of people. Those attacks, which have happened in Hawaii, has happened in Texas, has happened in 3 or 4 other states around the country, and they have also occurred in other countries. So there have been a lot of those kinds of things going on. There has been weather weaponry that has also taken place. And there have been a number of events where various groups and organizations have attacked various countries. One of the biggest ones has been organizations that were working with Iran that have attacked various countries, and the other has been the cartels in South and Central America, as well as Mexico. Mexico and Venezuela are in very big trouble because a lot of the cartels are coming from those countries. And there are at least 7 or 8 of the leaders in Mexico that are being implicated in some of the attacks that are taking place over the border here in the U.S. So there are a lot of situations that are going on. On the backdrop of that, of course, is the fentanyl, and on the backdrop of that are other types of drugs. There is the child sex trafficking, where a lot of them are sacrificed to various demons after they've been injured quite badly. And this has been going on for decades. You can read some books by Fiona Barnett and see some interviews that she did. And she talks specifically about people who raped her when she was a girl. And she also talks about other girls, people that you know, who were also involved and had nothing they could do about it because it was their families who were passing them around, basically. And that's wrong, but that's the kind of thing that these demonic organizations do. And we need to be praying about all of these things. Some of these things people don't want to hear about, and I understand. But the problem is, if you don't know what to pray about, you can't pray about it. And if you're not praying about it, it's going to continue to happen. And that's why we need to fast and pray. Because any of these situations could get out of hand at any time. We need to pray in the name of Jesus that President Trump will have wisdom to know what to do and how to stop what's going on. And we also need to pray that these things will be accomplished very soon so that the world doesn't go to war. We don't need a World War III. We do not need a battle of Armageddon. And we do not need the child sex trafficking and the drug trafficking and all of these things to continue. So in the name of Jesus, I pray this out of here. We need to fast and pray because Jesus said this kind cometh out but by prayer and fasting. So that's what we need to do. So with that said, and with the situation looking dire, I want you to still, in your heart, in your spirit, and in your mind, have a good day. A good day will always start with good prayers, and if they reach the throne of God, well, you're liable to have a good day then. So with that being said, you have a good day.